A very good evening and a warm welcome to this Thursday's edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shimwefeleni. We begin in the capital, where Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force, Lieutenant General Sebastian Deitunga, on Wednesday blamed the illegal land grabbing underway in the capital on the City of Windhoek Council and threatened to take over and run the council. Erasmus Shaliahwe compiled this report.
Deitunga made the remarks whilst addressing the media right after the police dispersed a crowd of land grabbers in Ochomwise's Matsitsi Road. Deitunga said people should go through the right channels if they want to acquire land, because the police will not tolerate chaos and lawlessness. The city council, he said, must put their house in order, adding that this chaos started with the Windhoek City Council. I think I have to take over the council and run it while they are putting their house in order. If they are not careful, we are going to run it, and we will govern that council. He said the police are fed up with illegal land grabbers, as they've been talking to them politely, but they are not listening, warning that the police will not allow chaos and lawlessness because Namibia is a law-abiding society. Meanwhile, NAMPO spokesperson, Deputy Commissioner Kauna Shikwambi, confirmed that the police destroyed structures that were erected illegally in the area and arrested about 16 people who threw stones at police officers and threatened to set the police cars on fire. When approached for comment, City of Windhoek Public Relations and Communications Manager Harold Akwenyi reiterated that the City Council is the custodian of the land within the local authority of Windhoek and has procedures that need to be followed when procuring land. However, the challenges hampering land delivery are mainly due to a lack of funding and a protracted land development value chain, he said.
Namibia received 169,565 tourist arrivals in 2020, representing a massive decline of 89.4% in comparison to over 1.6 million tourists received in 2019. Linnea Dishena compiled this story.
Speaking at the launch of the National Tourist Arrival Statistic Report here on Wednesday, Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Buhamba Shifeta, said 81% of the tourist arrivals in 2020 were recorded between January and March 2020, before the state of emergency and country lockdown following the COVID-19 outbreak. He indicated that South Africa was the main African source market, providing 28.6%, while Germany represented 11.6% of the overseas market of total tourist arrivals in 2020. Shifeta further indicated that during the government tourism revival initiative from September 2020 to March 2021, a total of 61,663 tourists were recorded, noting that although these figures are too low to sustain the sector, they are commendable, and it was with government's effort to open up the international airport and invite tourists back into Namibia as a safe destination during the COVID-19 pandemic. Shifeta said with indicators showing that international tourists will be slower to come back in 2023 or 2024, there is a need to collectively revive tourism businesses and manage recovery in a way that it is economically viable, safe and attractive for tourists from all stakeholders in the public and private sector at large.
Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Dr. Pea Moshelenga, said while those who refuse to get vaccinated are within their rights to do so, they are in the process also tampering with the rights of those that they continue to put at risk. Maria Kanjungu filed this report.
Moshelenga said this during the official handover of 75,000 vaccines by the Netherlands in the capital on Wednesday. He noted that more than ever, public health information is very important, as anti-vaccine movements spread misinformation that is costly and derails efforts by governments worldwide to fight the pandemic. Misinformation, he said, further results in delay in acceptance of vaccines or even total refusal. He said the ministry will continue to monitor all media platforms in order to be able to respond and dispel the myths and conspiracies as advanced by anti-vaccine propagandists who seem not to care about the well-being of the society. In the same vein, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, said by choosing not to get vaccinated, one places not only their own lives in danger, but also the members of their families, neighbors, colleagues, as well as the rest of the nation. She emphasized the vaccine is the most important weapon against the pandemic and will take the country one step closer to ending the pandemic everywhere.
Still on COVID-19 matters, Education, Arts and Culture Minister Anangi Pondoka has urged teachers and learners who are eligible to get the COVID-19 jab to do so in order to help Namibia reach herd immunity.
The education sector has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic following a surge in infections among educators. Ngipondoka, in an interview with Nampa, while receiving a second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday, says she was not able to say exactly how many teachers have been vaccinated against COVID-19 at this point. She, however, highlighted that the Oshana region is leading when it comes to the number of teachers who are vaccinated. The minister further told this agency, in efforts to raise awareness and increase the number of vaccinated members in the teaching community, that the Education Ministry and Namibia National Teachers Union NANTU have embarked on a vaccination campaign to encourage those in the education fraternity to get vaccinated. The advocacy campaign was launched on 25 June 2021.
Stand by for your top roundup. And now, a look into the world of business and economics. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism is set to realize $5.9 million Namibian dollars from auctioning 57 elephants out of 170 that were put up for auction last year.
A statement issued Wednesday by the ministry spokesperson, Romeo Myunda, said the ministry put out an auction tender in December 2020 to sell 170 elephants, which attracted 5 bidders, of which only 3 were successful, and bought 57 elephants, generating 5.9 million Namibian dollars. He said 15 elephants will be captured and will remain in Namibia, while 42 elephants will be exported. The capturing will start this month and will be conducted by the Namibian registered game capture operators and supervised by the ministry's officials. The elephants were put on auction include 30 from Omashete area, 50 from Kamanyap commercial farming area, 60 from Grootfontein Kavango cattle range area, and 30 from Grootfontein Tsumkwe area, said Myunda. He added that with the auction, the ministry intended to reduce elephant numbers in specific areas to minimize human-elephant conflict, which has become persistent, leading to extensive damage to property, life losses, and disruption of people's livelihoods.
The Ministry of Industrialization and Trade has called on public and industry players in the poultry sector to submit inputs following last year's government development draft on standard operating procedures for the poultry quarter.
According to a statement issued by the ministry today, on the 28th of February 2020, Namibia reduced the import quota for poultry products from 1,500 tons to 1,200 tons. Through a government notice for the allocation of poultry quota, importation of poultry products from slaughtered fowls of the species Gallus domesticus intended for human consumption in Namibia. Government through MIT introduced these measures to support the stimulation of the local poultry industry through the reduction of imports. Furthermore, these measures encourages the local industry to grow through sourcing of poultry products within the country, ultimately creating and sustaining local jobs and ensuring food security, the statement reads. With these measures already enforced, MIT developed draft standard operating procedures for the poultry quota aimed to clearly set certain conditions and procedures to guide the ministry in the administration of the poultry quota.
The Business and Economics Roundup is up next, followed by a trip to the marketplace.
wherever you are on planet football.
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
And they dare to sing.
It's a rhythm.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Football.
La football.
Soccer. 1, 2.
That moves us.
Salah to settle in. There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
And with that, we've reached the end of our top segment. Kindly stand by for your sports update with Joy Gosses.
Thank you, Selima. Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. In our sports news, we commence with athletics news. Athletics Namibia President Edwin Nemwaka said preparations for the World Under-20 Championships are at an advanced stage, as everything is now in place for the trip to Kenya. Marco Nglobo, our sports journalist, compiled this report.
Namibia is sending 6 athletes, 5 females and 1 male, to the championships scheduled for 17 to 22 August 2021 in Nairobi, Kenya. They are Beatrice Masilingi and Christine Boma, who will compete in the 100 meters, 200 meter and 4 times 100 meter female relay. Elvis Gaseb will compete in the 100 meter race, while Ndawana Haitembu, Karin Oosthuizen and Nandi Vas will form part of the 4 times 100 meter relay team. Speaking to the Namibia Press Agency on Wednesday, Naim Hwaka said they have secured financial assistance from Namdia, First National Bank of Namibia, and the Road Fund Administration. The team is flying out on Saturday. The flights are confirmed. Our policy is never to put pressure on the athletes, as we always encourage them to do their best. We are already proud of them for qualifying for the championships, he said. Naim Hwaka said they are also confident that Beatrice Masilingi and Christine Boma will be ready for the competition following their arrival in Namibia on Tuesday. Naim Hwaka said he believes that the athletes and their coach, Henk Botha, have a plan on how to deal with fatigue. Meanwhile, Botha told the Namibia Press Agency on Tuesday that he is concerned about the attention the girls are getting, especially from the media, corporate world, and the general public. We have had a bit of rest. I am not worried about the mental state or the focuses of the girls, so to say. It's just that everybody wants some kind of meeting, interview, or a piece of the girls. Unfortunately, I will have to cut 70% of the official meetings and stuff so that the girls rest, Botha said.
The Brave Gladiators were drawn into a tough pool at the 2021 COSAFA Cup draw today. The tournament is scheduled to take place in Nelson Mandela Bay from the 15th to the 26th of September. Once more, Marco Nglobo compiled this report.
The tournament, scheduled to take place in Nelson Mandela Bay from 15 to 26 September, will see Namibia taking on Zambia, Eswatini, and guest nation Uganda. Group A comprises hosts and defending champions South Africa, Angola, Malawi, and Mozambique. In Group B, last season's runner-up Botswana, 2011 winners Zimbabwe, and guest nations Tanzania and South Sudan will fight it up for the top spot. The top team in each pool, as well as the best placed runner-up, will advance to the semi-finals.
Your sports roundup is up next.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, James has always watched football wherever he can. Sometimes it got awkward. It was never really comfortable. And finding a good place to watch became more and more difficult, not to mention costly. Traveling for his games took its toll on James until he discovered something big. Now that James has GoTV, he can finally enjoy the perks of home ground advantage. Good for you, James. Get home ground advantage with GoTV. With superstar players competing in the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions, you'll be spoiled for football choice. So get and stay connected to GoTV for the best football season yet. GoTV. Love it.
And with that, we have come to the end of this evening's bulletin. We thank you for tuning in. Do give us a thumbs up and share. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe. Also, click on the notifications bell to stay updated on the latest local and international news. From myself and the entire production crew, it's good night.